But if you genuinely want to clear this examination, you have to make up your mind. Until and unless you make up your mind that this exam is very, very important for you, until and unless you make this an obsession for you, your topmost priority, you are not going to give your best. Hello dear students, welcome back to this channel. Some of the students, even though it's 1.5 months remaining, 2 months remaining before the examination, they're not feeling like to study. They're too distracted. Sometimes they get bored and they don't want to study. Some days they study for 10 to 12 hours. Some other days they only study for 3 to 4 hours. Okay. Now let's discuss this problem. Okay. So first of all, the reason why you might be feeling this way is that if sometimes you study for 10 to 12 hours, maybe you do it for a couple of days, then of course your body is going to get exhausted. And so maybe the next day you might not feel like studying for 10 to 12 hours. If it's a new habit for you to study for so many long hours, then our body requires some time to adapt. Okay, but you don't have to stop. At this time, you don't have to break the momentum. At this point also, you have to try to still study for 8 to 9 hours. Even though it is going to be difficult, but you still have to continue to study like this for another 10 days, right? After 10 to 20 days, you will get into the routine of studying 10 to 12 hours every day without fail. So maybe if you're new at this habit of studying for 10 to 12 hours, after 2-3 days, you will feel lazy, but don't give up at that point. At that point, push yourself, okay? And at that point, even if you don't feel like it, somehow just sit and try to study. If necessary, study the most easiest topic. If necessary, try to study the past exam papers or try to solve some questions or try to revise the concepts. But try to still study for 10 to 12 hours, okay? That is going to help you build that habit of studying. That is going to help you and your body to adapt to this new routine, okay? If this is also not helping you, if you just don't feel like studying, if you're bored, if you're lethargic, if you're thinking about all the possible distractions, if you open YouTube and you keep scrolling to other videos and you waste up a lot of time, then you need to think about what you're doing, okay? You need to take some time, switch off the internet, switch off all the other technologies, switch off everybody in the universe, and you have to sit down and you have to actually think if this exam is important for you. Okay, I'm being a little harsh, but you will have to sit down and evaluate if you actually want to pass in this examination, if you actually want to sit and give your best shot. Okay, maybe you don't want to, right? And that's okay. That's okay. If you don't want to give this examination, that's absolutely okay. At least you will know, you will realize that you don't want to give this examination, and then you can move on to something else. But if you genuinely want to clear this examination, you have to make up your mind. Until and unless you make up your mind that this exam is very, very important for you, until and unless you make this an obsession for you, your topmost priority, you are not going to give your best. Okay, so it is very important you spend that half an hour or 1 hour of your time sitting down and evaluating your priorities and seeing if this exam actually makes sense to you. Once you do this exercise, it is going to help you for a couple of days, and then after that, maybe again you feel lazy. So it is important to remind yourself also. We humans, we tend to take up the motivation, take up the inspiration, and then forget about it after a couple of days. You have to be stubborn at this point. Okay, you have to remember if this exam is your priority or not. I'll tell you how I used to do it. This used to be my study table. Here on this bulletin board, I used to stick up a paper and I used to write in it, I am an All India ranker. Okay, I used to write, I am a CA, right? And that piece of paper I used to read every single day. And now because I used to read it every single day, it became an obsession. Okay, it became my topmost priority, right? And so you also will have to write something like this so that you remember it. Okay, so maybe you can write something like, is this exam actually important for you? Do you actually want to pass in this examination? Question mark. And then you put it somewhere where you can actually read it every day, and then actually read it every day to remind yourself if this exam is important for you or not, right? This tip is going to help you. Please practice this for 7 days and let me know how are the results. If you have been practicing, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm going to see you again in another video. Meanwhile, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.